Uruguay's family friendly, peaceful.
I was more prepared for pushback where there was none.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that like anticipatory, like, hey, look, I mean no harm.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, of course you mean no harm. I don't know, it's just very welcoming here.
And was there anything specifically different about getting visas for your daughter?
Because she is still a student and not financially independent, I'm just signing a paper, literally signing a paper stating that I am financially providing for her. Our landlord rented this place to us, and it's obvious that we're a lesbian couple, and she also rents to another lesbian couple. And so she said, I know other lesbians. Here they are.
Lesbian friends.
Yeah. And so we were like, hi. And the other lesbians were like, hi.
Hi, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm joined by some new guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves quickly?
Hi, I'm Analisa and this is Heather, and we are middle-aged from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hi.
Excellent. And how long have you been here in Uruguay now?
Since July.
Okay, so a
Just
couple of
few
months. Did you move here just the two of you?
We're here with our daughter. So it's the three of us and our dog.
Okay, excellent. And what made you choose Uruguay?
Uruguay's family friendly, peaceful. We chose it for the culture and the affordability. Maybe you can elaborate more on that.
No, I would agree. The culture, the vibes, it's definitely here for the vibes.
When you made the choice to come to Uruguay, were you picking between several countries, or did you always think this is the one to go for?
Oh no, I'm gonna take that one. I'm a statistics fiend. So I definitely looked at the world as a whole. We're married, and so there are certain places in the world that are just not for us. Marked those off, and then decided what would be the best fit for our family. I looked at the happiness index around the world. Uruguay fits really high up there. I looked at the opportunities to work here and bring our dog here, and not everywhere can you have a fully breed dog. So it just sort of narrowed it down, and then at the end there were really only a few options in the world that accepted LGBTQIA plus individuals, had the kind of culture that we appreciate, which is just like kindness, and also was opening to us legally being here and having our pet here and having our family come and go.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely it narrows down the search, but I didn't realize there'd be so few countries that would maybe be suiting the criteria. But have you felt, what has been the biggest surprise or biggest difference in your initial stage of being here?
Well, the first thing I noticed was that you walk across the street and the cars will just stop and like, everybody's like, let's follow the rules and be friendly. And, it was really refreshing considering where we come from. You try and cross the street and it's like the cars are trying to hit you.
Frogger.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. It was just a little different. And then the people are just really nice and welcoming and try to be as helpful as possible. The language is just a little different. Spanish, the dialect is different. The pronunciation is different. So it takes a while to get the ear for it. And people really went out of their way to slow down and help us and be really welcoming.
Okay, excellent. I mean, I will ask a little more about this probably later on, but did you both have a decent level of Spanish before deciding to come here, or were you starting from beginners?
She did. I have like beginner Spanish.
Okay.
I learned Spanish when I was a child, and so I know words, but speaking it is totally different.
And most people I speak to who move from the US, they're a lot more familiar with maybe like more of a Mexican Spanish. Is that the case for you too as well?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with like the Mexican, Dominican, Puerto Rican dialects of Spanish. I also am more familiar with like street conversation rather than learning in a classroom.
Okay.
whereas she has a teacher for a mother, so also like learn more of the classroom. I find her ability to read things is easier and faster for her here because the dialect isn't on the reading portion of it, the vocal is. But it's very interesting to learn this dialect versus the Mexican and Dominican dialects. Yeah, it's fun.
And in the couple of months you've been here, you feel like you've already made significant progress, or do you feel like it's still a bit of a struggle?
I think we're both learning. Yeah.
We made progress.
And on the daily life, you can get by pretty fine using Spanish, or do you find you revert to a translator sometimes? Or
I feel like I don't need the translator for anything outside of like bureaucracy and maybe medical or something like that. If I don't understand a word, I can communicate in Spanish and get a better understanding. Like if I don't know microphone, but I know the thing on the table, like that. I'm communicating with individuals.
I'm even too slow for the translator, so it's basically just politeness that I get by on, and I'm trying to pick things up.
And with politeness, you can get pretty far.
Yeah.
I find sometimes, depending on the person, of course, you can swap in a couple English words here or there, or just show a picture like, I'm looking for this, like, por favor.
Yeah.
I know when I moved here, I thought I had a decent level, and then I was like, oh, wow, I know a lot less than I thought, but over time, it definitely gets easier.
Yeah, submerging really helps, I think.
Okay. And all right, so we've done a couple of the first impressions. So other than just the kindness and the cars, was there anything else that maybe surprised you about Uruguay in the first couple of months being here? We're only just getting into spring now. I know you're here mostly through the winter, but anything that stood out?
I'm gonna say two things. One, I guess it's an elaboration on kindness, but I just thought it was an interesting like cultural difference. Where we're from, if you like come around a corner and someone comes around the corner at the same time and you bump into each other, if you get a polite person, you're gonna get like, oh, excuse me, and you move on about your business. Here they say good day in that moment. Oh. And I thought that was just a really interesting like caveat to kindness in every form of communication. Another thing, we're again from New Orleans, and so there's a lot of festivals where we are. There's a lot of carnival. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of music. It's highly enriched in New Orleans for all of those things. Our food is New Orleans is rich culturally, and there is a lot of that kind of carnival culture here. Celebration of life, festivals, parades, musicians, and I just really embrace that part of the lifestyle.
That's interesting. And so have you, before moving here, had either of you visited this part of the world before?
No.
Okay, so you're saying that without actually having experienced a carnival. So that'll be coming up in the end of January, February. Okay, that's the best time of year to be here, I swear. But yeah, sometimes you can hear the musicians practicing, and the candombe music is the like carnival style. So that's always fun. Speaking on quickly the food, that was a big difference for me, and I'm not sure if coming from New Orleans it's similar, because Uruguayan food is very specific. They do what they do very well, but it's not a huge variety. Was that something you were aware of before coming here, or was that a bit of a shock?
No, we didn't really have any awareness of the food, I don't think.
I did. I'm greedy. So I was very aware of their empanada culture. Okay. I'm a big fan of empanadas already. I'm a big sandwich fan, which is kind of like very close to the empanada, like hot sandwiches of all kinds. And so I was very excited. I do not feel like I have finished trying all the empanadas here, but I'm loving the, across the board differences. I will tell you a huge negative that I have found, because again, New Orleans does have great food. There's no crab legs here. There's no crab leg. That's a huge issue for me. Okay. I'm thankful that it's a hop, skip, and a jump over to Buenos Aires. It's super cheap to make it over there, 2 hours, and I can get crab. But I like how convenient it is in New Orleans, and I did not know that.
You don't know what you're gonna miss until you can't have it every day. Yeah. I know for me, moving here, I wasn't maybe aware of how big the meat culture was, and as someone who doesn't personally eat meat, I was like, oh wow, the main dish is meat and potatoes. And I was like, okay, like I can appreciate that that's what they do and that it's good, but it's not for me.
Right.
And that's okay.
It limits you.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, the areas are wonderful with the fruit and vegetable selection, and we're just eating lots of fruit and vegetables every day.
Yeah, that's true. And they do have every other kind of seafood. They have shrimp, scallops, mussels, clams, all kinds of fish at the Feria every week, you know, so that's really nice. But
just not the crab legs.
I really like crab.
I do feel like maybe down the coast a little more, like Punta del Este in the summer, you might get a little more lucky, but I can't guarantee.
There's no crawfish culture.
There's
no. It's not going to be like what you're used to.
Yeah. I'm going to figure it out.
Okay, so I know we talked about this a little bit off camera already, but in terms of coming here with visas or getting residency, are you guys looking at doing permanent residency here in the country? What is your plan with all of that?
Yeah, so with my communicative language skills, I thought I understood everything that was needed to go to immigration because I understood the logistics of it. It's fairly simple. When I went in, I found out that in order for them to approve you signing documents here, they have to know without shadow of a doubt that you completely understand the legal language written in the contracts that you're signing. So you have to reschedule translator appointments and go back to immigration. But yeah, it's fairly simple, you know, for our family. Like we said earlier, we're here with our daughter. It's going to be about $4,000 for the three of us to get permanent residency front to back. Like total cost, you know, and it's going to take a few months to get totally done. But then once it's done, we'll be able to live here essentially like any Uruguayan would be able to.
Excellent. Because I feel like coming here as a US citizen, I believe you get 90 days is kind of like the standard. But I know people, like the visas here are pretty relaxed. It's one of the few places you can do all the process while being in the country, whereas most places make you leave and re-enter. And also, if you overstay visas, they're kind of like, oh, okay. And it's like a $5 fine, if that. And they're like, hey, whatever, no problem.
Yeah, we went and extended our visa, and I was told by someone else that, you know, if you're denied an extension of your visa, a really easy way to manage that is to just go to Buenos Aires and then come back. You know, and so I was like, okay, that's, you know, budget friendly. But also I went in and they were just like, okay. I paid, I think, $35 and they extended all of our visas.
Excellent. So obviously with the translation issue, I mean, it's a nice thought that they really want to make sure you're not, you know, signing something you don't understand, but it, you know, in the moment it's a little frustrating. Was there any other part of the process that was maybe confusing, or did you feel like you were able to understand? Did you have someone helping you with this process, or you just looked on the website and thought, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like translated it to English, you know, in the little bar. But I felt like it was very easily understood. There were lots of options of what kind of residency you were looking for. Like, were you here for a work permit? Were you here because you're elderly? Were you here because you're marrying someone? And essentially, you decide which one of those you are. We were here just looking for permanent residency. In order to get permanent residency, you have like a temporary residency where they make sure that they're running a background check on you, that you're not a criminal, that you don't create any crimes while you're here. You pass that little window of time and then you're given your permanent residency paperwork. I feel like it's very cut and dry. When you go into the office, there's like a sign that says like, here's each of the steps, here's how much each of them cost. It's very upfront. And if you just take your time and read it, you'll get it. If you don't understand though, like some of like maybe basic legalese, you might want to just jump right in with an attorney up front. But that's what we're inevitably doing, and it's $4,000 for the whole thing. So it's not nothing, but it's not a lot of money for 3 different people.
No, exactly. When you compare that to visas in other countries, it's very, very reasonable.
Right.
But, you know, it's something you have to keep in mind when you do want to move countries, that obviously there will be visa costs.
Right.
But comparatively, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And was there anything specifically different about getting visas for your daughter? Or I know you said as a 18-year-old, maybe it wasn't so much different than it would be for yourselves.
So there's a couple of things. Because she is still a student and not financially independent, I'm just literally signing a paper stating that I am financially providing for her. And therefore, the amount of money that they expect me to be able to make in a month did increase. But it did only increase from $1,200 a month to $1,500 a month.
Okay.
So it wasn't the same as it was for having a wife.
No, it wasn't like they were expecting double. It was just a little bit extra.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, and I just wanted to add that I did look into doing it when she was a minor, and it was almost the same cost and then additional paperwork, but it was like $35 more. It's very, very easy, whether they're a minor or they're an adult, if you're willing to sign a paper that states you'll financially support them.
Okay. Yes. Since we're already talking about your daughter, you mentioned that she's still a student. Are we talking high school or college?
High school. Yeah, she's a senior.
And it like virtually, or is she going to school here?
Yeah, she's completing it virtually. That was the best option for her, because there was an accredited opportunity for her to complete that, and so that's the route we went.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's at the same school she was at before. She's just able to take her same classes, get all the same credits.
Yeah.
She's almost finished.
Yeah. She's in AP and honor classes, so we didn't want to deviate from her like end diploma goals. And I wasn't sure what the opportunities were going to be here for her. And she is not fluent in the Spanish language. And so I didn't want at the very end of her high school to be adding that. You know, she's an A student. So I just wanted to let her do what she's doing.
Yeah. It would be very different if you were moving and she was in middle school or even early high school.
Right.
But when you're so close to finishing, it would have been kind of
Disruptive.
To move schools, and I don't even know if you'd be able to do that, to swap to a completely new school system. I mean, there's American school here at least, but
I did look because I wasn't sure like VPN wise or what, like if it would work, if it would be accredited for her. So I did like briefly look, and the transcripts are transferable here, so that's helpful. But unfortunately, not every school takes classes the way American schools give classes. So like, whereas some classes you're taking them all year long there, you're taking them for only half the year and you're getting the full credit because you're going for longer each day and all of those kinds of it was just too much in her senior year.
Yeah, the system here is very different than in the US from what I've heard. I mean, I didn't go to school in either country, but I have friends from both, and it's even just the simple fact of like school starting in February instead of in August. It makes a big difference when you're trying to convert from one to the other. But people do it and find success. But with a senior, this seems like it was the most logical solution.
Yeah, we're in a group with other parents, a lot of which who have a lot of smaller children, and all of them are just having like no issues whatsoever. They're asking, I think, basic, putting your kids in school questions, but all of them seem to be really happy with the school system options here. And the difference between private and public school are both available to us as immigrants. And neither of the costs, like if you're on a very tight budget and you can only put your child in a public school, you're going to get a great education. You're going to get a great school. School supplies are not going to be like some states, they're spending $400 and $500 to send their third grader to school. It's not like that here. At the same time, if you want to put a little more money into your education and maybe offer different things to your child by putting them in a private education, they're going to get a great education. And again, it's nowhere near the cost of a private education in the States.
Anything else to add on that topic of school or family life?
It's very family oriented here. I think that's really cool. I also think that it's very interesting that like in Mexico, you'll go out in the evening and you'll see people out with their small children and people keep it kosher. Like even though they're dancing and they're drinking and the music is loud and the street is a party, the kids are being respected. The space is available for them. They're having a good time. And it's enriching for everyone.
It's given us space to breathe. It's a little disorienting when you move to a different country, so having time to relax into it is very helpful.
I do agree with that. I feel like when I even now going out at maybe I'm walking around at 11:30 on my way to a friend's house, and I'll see like an 8-year-old kid out with his parent getting ice cream. I'm like, oh, you just wouldn't see that in Australia. Like kids are just not outside after like 9 p.m. unless it's maybe New Year's Eve. It just, but here it's totally normal, and it's kind of sweet, but it still kind of catches me by surprise each time.
Yeah, me too.
Or seeing them in the park at 10 o'clock swinging on the swing. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess it's a safe enough neighborhood to be doing that, and that's
what
really
it
nice.
is. Yeah, it's really nice, but it is disorienting a little bit because you're like, "Are you okay, kid?"
It's like, where are your parents?
Oh, they're right there. Okay, I love that.
Another maybe more system thing. Have you found while here in Uruguay, are you signed up with local healthcare? And what's the difference with that versus back home? Do you still have insurance back in the US, or are you fully in the Uruguayan system?
So I'll take this one. You good? Okay, so we are not in the Uruguayan system yet. We are learning all about the different options that they have available here. They vary in price, but not hugely. I say they probably go from like $40 a month to $200 a month. And they vary in what you have access to, but it seems like all of the programs have access to everything. It's kind of like if you're with this system, then you can go to these doctors. And if you're with this system, then you can go to these doctors. But if you want to go to these doctors, you just kind of have to like ask and pay a little more. But the pay a little more is like $3. So it's very just manageable. A friend of ours recently had strep throat and needed to she wasn't feeling good. She needed to have the doctor come to her home and give her 2 prescriptions and like figure out what was wrong with her and all of these things. And the entire cost, because they have, I think, $45 a month insurance or $60 a month insurance, something like this, was $15.
Yeah.
He came to her house, he tested her, she needed 2 prescriptions, and then while he was there, he was also like, is there any other prescriptions that you need refilled that you would normally make a general appointment for?
While I'm here, let me just... Yeah.
And it was a doctor. It wasn't a med student. It wasn't a nurse. It was a doctor. So it's like, I don't care that it's $60 a month or $200 a month, because in the States, at least, I was paying over $3,000 a month to insure the 3 of us. And it was still $900 when you went to the emergency room and didn't get anything done.
Yeah. You kind of think, oh, well, if I'm paying for this insurance, why am I then also paying to go and use the services? Like, isn't that what I'm paying for? But
yeah,
I know here the insurance we had, still did have to pay to use the emergency room, but it was maybe like $20.
Right.
Like it's not going to be hundreds, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, they have to pay for their supplies. I get it, but the overcharging in the US is out of control.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess, following on from that, how was it for the 2 of you, and then also maybe for your daughter, just adjusting to maybe the social life here, or is there anything you miss from back home other than the food and the crab legs?
I do miss some of the shopping. You get used to certain things, and it takes a while to figure out what they have and where to find it. You're going to find that anywhere, though. Prices are a little different, so it may be difficult if you're on a tight budget, trying to find everything you need and knowing what to bring when you come here.
Yeah, to that I would definitely say, if you want to know what to bring, definitely bring like your own fancy face cream. Bring your own fancy face cream. But yeah, I think we had a little bit of difficulty just because, again, like some of the language is a little different from Mexican Spanish to Uruguayan Spanish. So like finding some things like baking soda or like hydrogen peroxide that just like you would expect to see in a grocery store, we had to go to a pharmacy to buy it. And so that was interesting. But other than like a few little things like that, it was mostly pretty easy for us to navigate. we have traveled the world though. So we are accustomed to figuring out new things in totally new environments. Our daughter, on the other hand, this is the first time that she's been a young adult and had the privilege and freedom to just kind of explore on her own. And, you know, that can be intimidating when you don't really know the language and you don't want to hang out with your parents and you aren't maybe super thrilled that you're thousands of miles away from everything you've known and all of your friends. And so thankfully she was able to have a friend come and visit for a little while, and they were able to go out with them, you know, and explore. And I think that really helped her spread her wings a lot more. Now she's more interested in going and seeing and doing, now that she realizes there's so much to do here. So.
Yeah. But was it, you're saying maybe it was a little more challenging the first couple of months being here and just
for her
settling in
than for us, I think. Yeah, I think for us it was probably a little challenging for the first couple of weeks. For her, I think it was probably a couple of months. Yeah, just to find her rhythm.
Yeah,
but now she can take the bus and
yeah,
you know.
now she's super comfortable with everything.
Yeah, having that sense of independence again makes a huge difference.
That's what it is.
Do you have a car here? Do you drive around, or is it bus purely?
Bus, yeah.
Walking, lots of walking.
Lots of walking. It's easy to walk around this area of the city and find everything that you need. And then the bus system is really budget friendly, and they have this great rule. I don't know if you're familiar, but like if you use your bus pass now, it's good for like 2 hours. And then you don't have to pay again. So if you're just like using the bus to hop on to go somewhere, you don't have to pay again to get back on the bus to hop back home.
Like if you're going to the store to go get a coffee, you go there and come home on the same ticket.
Yeah, and I love that. And you don't get that where I'm from for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the bus system in New Orleans is too expensive for the individuals who need to use it.
Yeah. Here, the buses do, just like any country, they go up in price every couple of months, but still, when you compare it, I think right now an average bus ticket's more like 55 to 60 pesos. So that's like $1.50 US, I don't know, something like that. So it, you know, if you have to get the bus a couple times a day, it's affordable. What else? Oh, I guess quickly touching on products and things, I would definitely like to just second the notion of bringing any kind of skincare or makeup products that you, if you have a preference for certain brands, because that's something I did not know before moving here, and I feel like nobody really talks about that on the internet. But certain products are not available here. You can't buy them online. They won't let you import them because of certain ingredients. So they have options here, but they're not all the same that you might be used to from back home.
Yeah.
But other than that, is there anything you would recommend people bringing from home versus buying here?
Oh yeah. Do you want to go first, babe?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I would give a list of those things. Okay. If you're coming luggage only, like you're not bringing anything more than what comes in your carry-on and your checked luggage, any kind of footwear, any and all, every kind of footwear that you like. Shoes here are unnecessarily expensive. I would also say that like undergarments, I find, if you like, just like, I like very basic, like cotton mom stuff. And it is fancy stuff here. It's like, but not just like basic stuff here.
Okay.
I also think that bathroom, makeup, face, yes, but also like medication, over-the-counter medication, anything. If you take ibuprofen routinely, bring it with you. If you take any like kind of Midol or something that's like PMS related, bring it with you.
Okay.
And I'm interested to find spicy seasonings here from the north. Okay, so there's a can. I think it's kind of funny. There's a can in my cabinet of Chipotle peppers that we went to 9 stores to find. I spent almost $10 on this can of peppers.
It's like this big.
It's this big, and it is definitely something they sell at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, and that's maybe what I was touching on a little more about the food earlier. Uruguayans don't like spice. So there are a couple more people moving here from Cuba and from Mexico and even from Venezuela, and they have a little more spice in their food than is common here. So with that and cooking, it gets a little better over time. I will say compared to 5 years ago, there are more options now, but you have to go to certain stores to find spice. The feria near me, you can buy fresh chilies, but in the supermarket, it's not super common depending on which one you're at. So you have to, again, over time, you learn where to go to get these things, but certain products, like a friend of mine, every time he goes back to the US, he comes back with like 4 bottles of sriracha because he just can't get it here or it's way more expensive.
Yeah.
We found something similar to sriracha.
We found sriracha. Yeah, but it's expensive. Yeah, I mean comparatively, right? It's like, did I mind buying the chipotle peppers for $10? Yes. Why? Because I would routinely buy them in my house, 3 or 4 cans a month, and that's just not. I'm not spending $40 a month on peppers of one kind of what I want like 12 peppers a month, 12 different kinds. So there's certain things that like. If you can find the ground pepper or the dried pepper or any of these kinds of things and you like them, I highly recommend bringing them in a condensed form. But they knock out of the park dulce de leche. I mean, they got dulce de leche in the bank. They have like 20 different kinds of dulce de leche here.
That you can find for $1.
Yeah, for $1.
But not the spices.
No. And then I would say if you're coming with a larger amount of stuff, like you're bringing more like a what do they call it, like a crate or a something, container of some sort. Yeah, I would definitely recommend mattresses, bicycles, lawn care equipment, tools, cast iron pans, wooden utensils, any and all like wood furniture that you like. This weather is just like great for wood furniture, and there are so many like creative people here that I have seen that can take like wood furniture that where we live you would see someone put it on the side of the road for the trash pickup or for someone to take for free. Here they'll like refinish it, and the budget for that is great. Like in Louisiana they'll charge you like $500 to refinish a dresser, and it'll look crappy, to be honest, and you'll spend like $2,000 or $3,000 and they'll refinish the dresser and it'll look fantastic. Here you'll spend $60 and it'll look fantastic because they're good at the craft. They know how to manage the wood. It's not like for the aesthetic.
But you still recommend bringing the wooden items rather than
purchasing them here for sure, because the wood that is available to purchase here isn't the wood that's going to last 200 years like you can easily purchase in the States. The quality of the wood is better there.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like they're all valid points. A lot of people I know move here with just suitcases, but if you are going to be bringing larger things, I would agree that. Same with electronics, if you're into cameras or technology.
I was just about to go there. All things.
If you're considering upgrading your phone, do that before you leave.
For sure. All things electronic and animal related. They are very, very like animal open here. They love dogs. Dogs are everywhere. It's just like so much respect for animals here. But the price of things is surprising to me. I mean, for us to get a quality bag of dog food in the States, like the big one, like the 35-pound bag of dog food, which will last us like a month for our dog, it's like $70 to $90 because, again, we're buying like a really nice bag. Here, it's $120 for the same bag. So you can't bring food, right? So you have to figure out how can you budget elsewhere. Toys, again, they're very expensive. Poo bags, which of course you need if you live in the city, they're very expensive. The dog beds, the crates, all of these kinds of things. And then again, the quality is like not really, we have a bully breed, so we need like a, and you're not really getting that. Even at the highest price point, it's not even really available here. So I would recommend bringing those things as well.
And maybe sheets, if you're particular with sheets. And you're bringing your mattress, bring sheets.
Yeah, that's a good point. For softness.
Yeah.
And then pillows. I mean, how deep are we going here, right? But like all things related to quality bedding, bring it.
Yeah, if you can fit it, bring it.
Yeah. Oh, and if it's electronic
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have the ability to get a converter for it, don't bring it. So, like, if you're thinking about kitchen supplies and stuff like that, if it's not easily convertible to the electric here, just buy a new one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so finally, I just want to talk about maybe the neighborhoods you found, where your favorites are, where you chose to live, and why. So where are you living currently?
So we're living in Parque Rodo.
Mm-hmm.
It's the gay neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we picked it. It's very safe here. It's very accepting here. I mean, it's very accepting across Uruguay and Montevideo. They just very much of the mind your business. Nobody cares what you're doing. You're not hurting anyone mindset. So, but we love it. It's beautiful. It has a beautiful park here. And then also we have like our favorite sushi restaurant nearby, and there's clubs around and cafes, and we love it. Can we tell you about our favorite cafe?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I have it written down. El Palacio del Cafe.
Okay, I don't even know if I've been there before. Why? What makes it the best you've been to?
The coffee is delicious.
Okay.
Oh, it's delicious. They have probably like, I don't know, a dozen different kinds at least. They roast it there, they grind it there, then they make the coffee for you. You can also take the beans to go, crush them yourself, or they can do it for you. They have like little pastries and stuff. Sometimes we get an Irish coffee.
Feeling fancy.
Yeah, but the coffee is just delicious. They also have like coffee products there if you need like a coffee pot or whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they have a big variety of different coffee products.
Yeah. And like chocolate and candies you could buy if you needed a little treat or dessert, but it's really about the coffee.
Okay.
It's delicious every time. Every time we go, it's delicious.
Perfect. Well, I'll add that to my list. Any other recommendations locally that are in the area?
Yes, Nagasaki sushi.
Okay.
The best sushi that we've had in Montevideo. Excellent service. They do have all-you-can-eat sushi 2 nights a week. So if you're like, feeding teens, it's a great place to go. The vibe is just really chill and calm. They have like soft seating and low tables and, regular seating also if you need that. But the food is just spectacular. And then Il Tiempo is like our favorite nightclub. You can like get a drag show and have great drinks.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Okay, so you know.
Yes, but no, for the viewers, yeah, definitely it's a good one. I guess you mentioned that Parque Rodo is specifically good as an LGBTQ couple. Have you had any experiences in Uruguay that were maybe not good, or do you feel like in a whole, the country's been very chill? Like you said, everyone minds their business, nobody really cares.
I haven't had any bad experiences.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm like searching my brain. One time a woman wasn't as nice as she could have been, but really it only sticks out because everybody else is weirdly nice, like the Truman Show nice. We're having very kind people experiences. I feel like it's not crazy kindness as much as it's like people are just very real. Just chill. Like, yeah, very chill. It's like, it's okay. You're a human. I'm a human. This is how we live.
Yeah. Kind of like hanging out at the Rambla.
The longest sidewalk in the world?
Yeah. The longest continuous
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
And are you mate drinkers? Have you tried that yet?
I have. I like mate.
Okay. I feel like that's a classic activity on the Rambla. You'll sit there and just like drink or hang out, which I know is, I don't know about New Orleans, but I do hear in the US maybe just hanging out places can sometimes be frowned upon, weirdly.
Well, you can drink alcohol there.
Yeah.
Everything is alcohol. 10 o'clock in the morning is alcohol.
Yeah.
But, I like how you can drink alcohol, it's just not the culture here.
Right.
It's more about the mate and the friendship, and you don't see everybody on their cell phones. They're actively engaging with people and playing games, and it's nice.
Yeah.
In the time you have been here, have you managed to get outside of Montevideo yet, or is that something you're looking forward to for the coming summer?
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're making plans.
Any suggestions?
I mean, there's lots. Obviously, you have to go to Punta del Este if you haven't yet, but if you like it a little bit more quiet, I would recommend not going in January. That's too busy. But Punta del Diablo is also beautiful. La Paloma is more chill, but that's really best if you rent a car. If you're there on the bus, there's not a lot to do if you're kind of stranded. But yeah, lots of recommendations. Definitely for the summertime, I would head towards Brazil, whereas Colonial Sacramento is beautiful, but you don't really need to be there in the summer because there's no beach. So enjoy the beaches while you can. The closer you get to Brazil, the better the beach, as a general rule.
Cool.
Like I would say here in Montevideo, like I love to walk along Pocitos, but in terms of like swimming in that water, it's kind of, some people do, but it's not for me. It's more like you go in there to your knees, or if it's really hot. But the further away you get from the river, the clearer the water, the cleaner the beaches, the less people.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to that for sure.
You mentioned earlier that you have maybe some friends here or some community. Was it easy for you to find that sort of community here, and how did you do that?
It was easy for us because our landlord rented this place to us, and it's obvious that we're a lesbian couple, and she also rents to another lesbian couple, and so she said, "I know other lesbians. Here they are,
lesbian friends."
Yeah, and so we were like, "Hi," and the other lesbians were like, "Hi," and then they told us that they knew about this WhatsApp group of the LGBTQIA plus, individuals. And so we got added to it, and the community is here.
Okay.
The community is definitely here.
Interesting.
And they're also very helpful. You ask any questions, and you get lots of people chiming in about what they think you should take a look at and see and pay attention to, and avoid this and go towards this. And
Yeah, they've got great subgroups in the chat, so it's super helpful.
And did you find it maybe easier to make friends with other people in a similar situation to you then, who are also foreigners here in Uruguay? Or have you managed to make friends with any locals?
I know, we make friends with locals too. Yeah, everywhere we go, we try to grow a little bit, but the people here are very welcoming. We even went to a jeweler one time to do something, and the woman was just telling us all about her love for cars, and then she was like, "We should exchange numbers. Sometimes I go to car races. If you want to see them, let me know." And I was just like, "Oh, excellent! Of course, yeah, of course."
Fun.
Yeah, fun.
I would say that's my number one recommendation is, especially when you're new to a country, if someone invites you to do something or offers something, even if normally you'd think, oh, I don't want to impose, it's just say yes.
Yeah.
Because while you're trying to build that group back up, if they're offering, they probably mean it, so accept the invitation.
For sure.
But do you have any final tips or final points you want to say to anyone maybe who's thinking about coming to Uruguay and considering it as an option?
Maybe come and visit first and get the vibe for it.
Okay.
We met a few people who were on a trip to scope it out, and they look like they're leaning towards moving here also. I think it helped them make that decision, the trip.
And I would say if that is not in your budget, to make that kind of trip, that if you're the kind of person who thinks everything that's happening is just happening really fast and I just really want to slow down and chill out and just watch the water and read a book and eat some fruits and make some friends, but you're not the kind of person who's just go, move, you're walking too slow, this is the place for you.
Okay. And was that did that take a little while to adjust for you, or were you just thrilled that you were moving to a place that was more slow?
I was thrilled, but also surprised, because even I was like, wow, they really are just so chill. I was more prepared for pushback where there was none. That anticipatory, hey, look, I mean no harm. And they're just like, of course you mean no harm. And you're like, yeah, of course. I don't know, it's just very welcoming here. I've only met one person who said maybe it's not lively enough for them and they might move away. And that was their only reason, was just because they like the club scene, the club scene, the club scene, the club scene, you know, and it's like, yeah, you might get bored here if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. There's definitely things happening, and if you want to go out every weekend to the club, you can. But if you're going to get bored going to the same maybe 5 to 10 clubs every weekend, then maybe Buenos Aires is better for you.
Yeah.
But I personally am not a huge fan of huge cities like that, so this is better.
Yeah.
But it just depends if you, or I know a lot of people who move here and live here, but then will just travel regularly to other places to feel like they're getting the best of both worlds.
That's
but
how I
again,
feel.
if that's not in the budget, then
Right, but if you like, personally, okay, maybe this is because I'm middle aged, okay, but if you like the club scene, to me it makes sense to live here where the safety is. Then you're not spending as much. Then you have the money to bop over to Buenos Aires and party it up for Lollapalooza or whatever it is you want, and then come back and it's quiet. And that's how we lived in New Orleans. Like, we lived one exit away from New Orleans. And that was perfect for us. We're like in suburbia, but 10 minutes down the road is everything. And 10 minutes back is quiet.
yeah, you can kind of have a little bit of separation, but when you need it, it's right there.
Right.
Well, anything you feel like you haven't covered yet that you'd like to say, or do you feel like that? Okay, I'm adding this in while I finish up the edit for this video, but as I was done packing up all the equipment after the interview, we realized communally that we had forgotten to cover the paperwork required for their dog. We did talk about visas and travel for all of the humans involved, but not about the paperwork requirements, which are apparently quite complicated when bringing a dog from the US to Uruguay. So thankfully Heather was kind enough to provide a little bit of a lot of information for me. I'm going to skim through a little bit of it because it is quite a lengthy document that has been translated to English. So I'm going to cover some of the basic points on how they were able to bring their dog, their beautiful pit bull Ruby, from the US to Uruguay. Specifically, they actually went from the US to Mexico first and then from Mexico to Uruguay. So that is the information that I have specifically. And obviously, if you are bringing a cat, it would be slightly different, but this is the information for a dog when going from the US to Mexico and then from Mexico to Uruguay. All right, let's get started. So to bring a dog from US to Mexico, you need a copy of the animal's medical records with vaccines, medications, the breed, microchip number, all of this. There is a form, the APHIS form 7001, which is the United States Interstate and International Certificate of Health Examination for small animals. So they actually they actually drove from the US over to Mexico and said that nobody asked them for any documentation, even though obviously you are required to have it just in case. Nobody requested to actually see it. Okay, then to travel from Mexico to Uruguay, it's a little more complicated because they were obviously getting an airplane, but they contacted Irlanda Garcia Travel in Mexico for service dog certification. They have the contact information here for Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp if you want to contact them yourself. And Irlanda sent them Ruby certification paperwork and form Certificado Zoosanitario para la exportación de animales. They then contacted Dr. Pinky, and the vet had to assess Ruby and run blood tests and smears for this list of things. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce them. All the results and paperwork were then stapled together in a little plastic baggie, ready for travel. Okay, now we have a full document that has been line by line translated to English. All of the English I have highlighted in blue, so it'll be nice and easy. If you want to pause this and read the entire thing, or if you contact me by email, I can send you the full printout, but I'm going to try my best to read out the important lines without being too repetitive. But the form is called the Documentación Solicitada para Tramitar un Certificado Zoosanitario de Exportación. In other words, the documentation requested to process an export animal health certificate. It also states that it is required to send the original documentation and a copy. This document should describe the following information: pet data, name, breed, coat, color, sex, and age, the pet microchip number and date of application, details of the pet owner, full name, address where they live in Mexico, and address of the destination.
It should also have the data for the veterinarian, the full name, professional card number, and signature. It then needs to mention and describe the current vaccines applied to the pet with the following information, all of the specifications around the vaccines. Okay, for vaccines to worms, it must mention and describe the current internal and external deworming medications applied to the pet with the following information, certain timeframes, all listed in the document. The veterinarian's review must report that the pet has no tumors, no fresh wounds, and is not in the process of healing or has any signs of current illness. The animal must also have been vaccinated against rabies at least 30 days before, so more than 30 days before the travel, but less than 1 year. So between 30 days and 1 year before you arrive, they need to have a rabies vaccine and of course provide all documentation of that. And there are several other tests that are also involved. Again, it's a long document with lots of detailed information. If you want to go ahead and pause at any moment and screenshot this, or contact me and I can send you the full list. There's also a lot of information in here about contact details of specific people that they used, specific services they used in Mexico. So please use all the information you need and comment below if you have more questions. Heather and Analisa actually mentioned that while it was quite a struggle to gather all the paperwork necessary, pretty much no one actually requested to see it, but it's just one of those unfortunate situations where you need to, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, even if you then get to the gate and nobody even cares to look through the documents. They will not let you on the plane to go to Uruguay without having it all, even though when you arrive, literally no one cares. If you do happen to have more information about what this process would look like moving directly from the US, if you just went straight from a plane leaving the US into Uruguay, please comment below and let us all know. But yeah, now let's close out the official interview.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with me and for answering all of my questions. Yeah, it's been really great. Good luck with the rest of your time here in Uruguay.
Thank you. Best of luck with your life.